Hello, and welcome to Chaos Head Noah. My name is Mary Dennis, and this is going to be the next visual novel I'm going to play. After playing like several visual novels in a row, I kind of got into it, but I didn't really... So I've started playing an RPG, but I wanted to play something that was more consistent on the side, because for RPGs, with all the grinding and like other side quests and whatnot, I never really know how long I should play for, but visual novels are usually relatively consistent. And because Anonymous Code came out recently, I was thinking of playing it, then I was like, wait, do I need to play the other games in order to play Anonymous Code? And after looking like around for a little bit, the suggestion, whoa, I'll let this play out. The suggestion was to play the previous games first. And this is surely a game. Okay, the words are going too fast. I've never actually seen this, but I mentioned this in the Witch on the Holy Night playthrough, but I've only ever played one visual novel, like actual visual novel before this, and that was One Path of ChäoS Child. And I was not particularly... I actually enjoyed my experience, but I never actually continued playing it, and I actually don't remember a lot of it. I did watch the anime of Steins Gate, and Steins Gate is one of my favorite of all time in terms of anime. And I've actually seen a playthrough of the visual novel, so I'm actually pretty knowledgeable about that. But for all the other things, such as Chaos Head Noah, the other paths of ChäoS Child, Robotics Note, and I think there was a Robotics Note Dash. There might be another IP, I'm not sure, but I've never actually experienced the other ones. So I decided to start from the beginning, which is Chaos Head Noah. And I have like the double pack that has this and ChäoS Child, so I thought I'd try this out for a little bit. Some of these things are a little bit familiar because I played through one route of ChäoS Child, but a lot of it is kind of, I don't really know any of these characters at all. Yeah, I don't actually know what this is about. I only know that they have like a weapon or something. Oh, this might be more gruesome than I thought. Huh. Part of me wonders how I even got to play ChäoS Child without even playing this game. I feel like I'm missing a lot. Alright, well that was the intro cutscene. Let's head into the game then. Any button to start. Ooh, I have no idea how long this game is. Let's look at the configs. So let's see, show tips, delusion triggers, cancel skip. Alright, text settings. Let's do fast on this one. Alright, I think I'm good with the settings. What else is there? Extra. There are passwords. Tiplet. Okay, in every, I think in most of the science, I think these are called science adventure games, or science adventure visual novels. So I think in most of these they have like a tips list or like a library of just words. But let's start. Yeah, that took a little bit to start, but hopefully this will be quite a journey. We have quick saves.
視線が空から降ってくる。その瞳はいつも僕を見つめていて、眼差しは熱くて真っ黒な雨雲を突き抜けて、
Always watching.
雨のように僕へと降り注ぐ。僕を見るな。
Don't look at me.
雨の冷たさより、背中を預けている瓦礫の冷たさのせいで、さっきから体の震えが止まらない。ひどく寒い。
It's cold.
突き刺さってくる誰のものかもわからない天からの視線。それから逃げるように、僕はわずかに首を持ち上げて周囲を見回す。
Seek a way out. So that's supposed to be Shibuya. I recognize the
そこにあるのは
109 building.
崩壊した街。そこにあるのは絶望。そこにあるの
Despair.
は死。そこにあるのは無。誰もいない 誰も動いていない。誰も生きていない。
Oh, that seems like a grim future, doesn't
聞こえ
it?
るのはただ降り続ける雨の音だけ。このまま全てを、生きているものも死んでいるものも、全てを優しく包み込んで洗い流してしまうんだろうか。全部の出来事が単なる妄想だったらよかったんだけど、どうやらそうでもないらしい。体が動かない。動かせるのはかろうじて首と瞳だけ。体が震えているけど、そんなのただの生理現象でしかない。僕の意志じゃない。僕は身を震わせたいなんて思ってない。僕の自由にならないなら、こんなの僕の体じゃない。あるいは、生まれた時から僕は自由なんかじゃなかったかもしれない。心の保管してある場所なんて誰にもわからないんだ。それなのに、一体誰がこの体の中に僕の心があるって言い切れるんだ。
Okay, okay, we can go on without this
でも、
existential crisis.
だったら僕はどこにいたんだろう。僕はここにいるのかな。僕はどこにもいないのかな。すべてが静止している、壊れてしまった世界に、
Oh, there's another person
ふ
there.
と死の雨以外の音が響く。
Probably gonna be the pink-haired girl.
無の中から浮かび上がってくるたった一つの湯。君は誰？その肌が青白く見えるのは雨の冷たさに凍えているから、それとも君がもう死んでいるから。でも彼女は震えていなかった。そして前髪で隠れそうになっているその瞳は、
Yep, it's a pink-haired
僕を
girl.
見るな。
Don't look at me.
ひどく悲しそうにも見える。狂気じみているようにも見える。何も映していないようにも見える。
Oh wait, the school emblem says
もしも、
Suime? Gotta remember that.
世界には僕と彼女の二人だけしかいなくて、こうしてお互いだけを永遠に見つめ合っていた
Yeah,
ら、
it's going on for so long. My Switch
僕の世界は
fell asleep.
彼女の瞳に映るものだけになるのかな。彼女の世界は僕の瞳に映るものだけになるのかな。彼女の瞳に映るものは僕。僕の瞳に映るものは彼女。
Oh, whoops. I was able to do that. I don't know how.
そう考えると、世界は途端に矮小化する。
Oh, she's talking.
不意に僕の耳に届くとても綺麗なノイズ。
Oh, if I move the
彼女はう
joystick,
なだれて
it'll automatically make the text
両
go
手を
forward.
左右に広げる。まるであの雨雲の上へ向けて飛び立とうとするかのように。あるいはこの雨すべてを受け止めようとするかのように。
Oh, okay, the music abruptly finished.
あなたを持つ
The delusion
幻想
that stares at you.
うなだれた彼女の表情は僕の位置からも伺い知ることができない。
Alright, well, she's got a weapon.
雨の薄膜の向こうで君はどんな顔をしている？
殺してあげる。
天使？ 乱舞する光の羽
I
は
thought she said, I'm gonna kill you
僕
now.
を祝福しているのか、それとも、ああ、そうか。理解したよ。
I'm
それ
going to
で
die.
僕を殺してくれるんだね。ゆっくりと倒れている僕の前に彼女が膝をつく。いまだに彼女はうなだれたまま。僕の頭をそっと抱えてくる。僕を見てくれないことに、僕はほっとして、ただ身を委ねた。
Blah, 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 blah.
耳元でささやき、綺麗なノイズ。でも、よく聞こえない。暖かくて、柔らかくて、優しくて、甘美な感触。それは麻酔のようで、不思議なことに体の震えがゆっくりと収まっていく。彼女のかすかな鼻息が僕の頬をくすぐる。とても甘い匂い。ふと胸に圧迫感を覚えた。彼女の持っていた大きな剣が僕の胸の皮膚を裂き、肉をえぐり、骨の間を縫い、ゆっくりと体の中
Well,
に沈み込ん
we're
できている。
dead.
でも
That's game over, everybody.
彼
Thanks for
女の
joining
キ
me.
スという麻酔にかけられて、もう痛みを感じない。こんなにも優しく殺してくれるから、不意に切なくなって、涙が溢れそうになって、それをごまかすために、彼女の頭越しに雨を落とし続けている鈍色の空を見上げた。空が滲んでいるのは、雨のせい、涙のせい。もう、あの視線も感じない。もう、何もない。薄れゆく意識の中で、僕は空へと手を伸ばす。誰か、教えて。僕たちのあの空は、どこへ行ったんだろ
Oh, can we continue now? Oh. All right, opening time. Okay, we're seeing that one girl a lot. And this seems to be us. Chaos Head Noah. Oh, it's the same singer, I think, that did the Steins Gate stuff. I think it was Kanata Ito? Yep, it was Kanako Ito. Why is she floating? Oh, now she's two people. Oh, so is she. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of slicing people in half, I guess. So, one thing I do want to say is that I don't know whether or not I'll get to, like, the quote-unquote true end of this. I don't know, how far I plan to go in this game. Maybe one ending will be enough for me? I'm not sure. But we'll see how much I end up enjoying this game. So is she like an angel? Seems like we have the capability of rapidly aging. And why did that blood go sideways? Chapter 1. Eyes in Eyes. Alright, normal high school lifetime now, right? You can't see a gaze. I can see you, but you can't see it. It's weird. For as long as I could remember, I'd often felt a gaze staring at me from somewhere. I would turn around, and nobody would be there, but I'd be sure that someone was looking at me. I could feel the sensation, like something crawling on my neck. Was I just too self-conscious? Did I have some kind of phobia about being looked at? Up until elementary school, I honestly believed that it was God. God is watching me, I would say. I wrote an essay about something like that. Alright, black screen. Is there anything else? Oh god, this is really eerie. What? Oh, okay, there was a backlog. I don't know why it was so... Oh, wait a second. Did I have some kind of phobia? Okay, yeah, it was just a black screen for a very long time. I have no idea why. I wrote an essay about something like that. Of course, looking back, I realized how silly it was. I was the biggest chuny. I missed it. Oh, okay, chuny dork. If somebody were to ever read that essay, I'd be so embarrassed. I'd never leave my house again. So why on the Switch is the Autobahn? I still remember the thing's title. Whose eyes are those? Sono me, dare no me. The back of the chair I was resting in made a creaking sound, like the voice of an old woman.
僕を見るな。
Don't look at me. That sounds familiar. I think I remember something like that in ChäoS Child, but it's been so long I don't remember. I might actually end up, if I end up enjoying this, I might end up playing that one too. If not, I'll end up skipping some of the games. I whispered those annoying words as I looked up at the ceiling, feeling sick and annoyed. Of course, no one responded. This was my room. I lived alone. Nobody was here but me. Just for the hell of it, I turned around. Oh god, god, god. Alright, this is a pretty cramped room. Actually, no, as a room, it's pretty spacious, but like, I just imagined this being the entire apartment. The room was longer than it was wide, and it was a little dark. That's a lot of figures. The only light in the room came from my computer's desk light. Aw, man, I forgot. This game is actually pretty old at this point. I think there was an anime that came out for, like, the 2000s. I don't actually know how old this game is. There were no windows, so of course it was dark. Since I had no way of looking outside, I had no way of knowing if it was night or day. I turned towards a corner of the room and spoke to no one in particular.
僕の名前は西條匠。17歳。水明学園2年。
Sweet man,
と言って
yeah.
も学校にはほとんど行ってないけど。
Okay, so Takumi Nishijo, 17 years old. Suime Gakuen, sure. Alright.
まあそれでも勉強はできる方だよ。定期テストはちゃんと受けてる。しかもそれなりに上位の点数を取ってるからね。頭はいいんだ。
Of course, nothing happened when I said this. Nobody appeared out of darkness. The dark space just existed, silently. But the darkness stimulates the mind, makes it see delusions. Not being able to see whatever's there makes it unknown. Actually, can I... Okay, so if I press B, then I can see the entire background. He's a lot of pink-haired figurines on the bottom right of the screen, as you can probably see, and that poster as well. I don't know any of these characters. I wonder if they're, you know, related to past works of 5PB, I believe it's called. But I have no idea. You know in your head what's impossible, but somewhere inside your heart, you imagine terrible things lurking within the darkness. Jeez. Whenever a scary delusion popped into my head, my mind always ran away with it. I kept talking to try and shake it out of my mind.
僕は現在アウェイじゃなかった。渋谷で一人暮らしをしてる。
So away from home in
この
Shibuya.
紅会館ビルは父さんの経営するビル会社の管理下にあるんだけど、その屋上に設置されたコンテナハウスを格安で借りてるんだ。
That's why he has no windows. He literally lives in a shipping container.
街の環境は最悪。僕が住んでる新船長は小さな坂が多いから疲れるし、すぐ近くにラブホ街もあるし。ここが秋葉なら最高だったのに。ほんと渋谷ってひどい街だ。円数で言うとディーンズバレーくらいひどい。
ESO? Is that the game he's playing right now? ESO was an MMORPG that I had made my life's work. Let's see, name, Nightheart. Paladin. Human. Level 50. Ah, I see. I think ESO was also in Chaos Child. It's short for Empire Sweeper Online. I spent almost all day and almost all night playing the game, passing my time in the world of Baselard. Dean's Valley is an area in ESO with a lot of really aggravating monsters in it. They use all kind of obnoxious status ailments, attacks, but they don't even drop decent items. Anyone who grinds there is an idiot. Good players give up on it quickly and head to the next area, the Forest of Leet. I'm obviously a good player.
というわけでドキュンと恋愛資本主義者が集まるこんな街は即刻滅ぶべきだね。
I don't know what DQNs is. So how do I get to that? Ah, there we go. I press start and I can go to the tips list. Tips list. Pronounce Dokyun, a thug, bully, or someone who's part of the dregs of society. I see.
でもこの部屋の住み心地はまあまあ我慢できるレベル。PC とネット環境は最高水準クラスが揃ってるからね。
That's all that matters.
まあ学生にしては上等の基地じゃないかな。あ、だから僕はこの部屋のことをベースって呼んでる。
The base. Of course, nothing in the room moved except for me. Talking to myself was starting to make me feel like an idiot, so I decided to stop introducing myself to whoever was watching. Is he breaking the fourth wall? He knows we're watching, right? I guess he knows we're watching.
それにしても汚い部屋だな。
Oh man, these are kind of poly. It smelled moldy. The air was so stale and damp that you can feel it on your skin. The floor was piled high with empty plastic drink bottles and trays left over from the convenience store lunches. The bed was stacked high with H games. Always ended up having to sleep on the sofa.
片付けろよな。誰だよ散らかしっぱなしにしたのは。って僕か。
Yeah. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. At the moment, before starting to actually play the game, he seems kind of like an incel. My creepy laugh kind of annoyed me, so I kicked the plastic bottle at my feet. It flew up, almost high enough to hit my figure shelf. I screamed and leaned forward, using my own body to block it. I almost got 100 wives, big sisters, and daughters. Now I can't let them get hurt. They keep me going, so they're very important to me. I cleaned... Actually, let's see the... Actually, no, I don't want to look at it anymore. I cleaned and organized the shelf once a week. It was the only cleaning I did. Every day, I tried to find new angles and positions to make them cuter. I didn't want my beloved daughters and sisters getting dusty, so I always made sure to clean them. I breathed a sigh of relief and tossed the bottle into the corner, then faced back towards my PC. The PC sat in a far corner of my room. Next to the monitor was a figure from my favorite anime, BT, or Bloodtoon, the animation. Seiratan, 1/8 scale, pre-awakening version. Seira. The main character in the fictional anime, Bloodtoon, her catchphrase, Dork, is a very typical childhood friend tsundere-style character, has a mysterious familiar named Something, 17 years old, a second-year student at Ryusei Academy. Was Ryusei? No, the other one was Suisei. She used some star power to transform into a magical girl. As a magical girl, she has the magic baton she calls the Samurai Condenser. This weapon is more aptly described as a massive metal club than a baton, and at times she'll use it for physical attacks, like smacking people with it. Bloodtoon was originally a manga and would later go on to be adapted to other media. The series consists of 26 episodes and is currently still airing. Okay. She smiled at me while posing cutely.
セーラー、かわいいよ、セーラー。
I whispered as Seiratan and I stared into each other's eyes for a minute. Then I gulped down the bottle of soda next to the computer. It was lukewarm, but that didn't bother me.
さてと、円すらないと。
I sank down in the chair and put my hands on the keyboard. Just the act of sitting at a computer was enough to calm me. My ESO character, Nightheart, was a... Wait. It says Nightheart there, but if you look at the name on the top right, it's spelled different. It's H-A-R-T. Was a paladin, already on his second reincarnation. He was level 50, the max of course. He was also the highest ranked player on any active server. Almost every player knew the name Lightning Fast Nightheart, and they all treated me like a god. Rare weapons, rare armor, rare magic. I had it all. I had 95% of all the rare items in the game. Not as many as I wanted, honestly. I had some more money points than I could ever use in a lifetime. RMT, or... okay, real money trading, was how I made money to use in the real world. I had enough to survive for 6 months without having to get a part-time job. I was a master of the chat tool. I used it for almost all of my communication. I'd even saved a life on Atchan, a huge message board once, and I was always there whenever a festival was going down. Oh right, and I had way more than 100 friends on Free Para. That's a social network, by the way. Free Para. Just gonna click all those. Respect. Trust. It was all right here. I didn't go to school. It wasn't that I didn't want to go, just there was no point. I'm better than that. I did all my studying on the internet, and obviously, you can do that at home. Of course, you need to attend a certain number of classes to graduate, so I went just enough to get the bare minimum passing grade. This was the smartest way for a student to live. My parents were pretty obnoxious about this stuff, so I made myself a schedule for when I go to school. According to the sheet, all I had to do was go to school 2.5 times a week. The people who went every day called me a creepy otaku, but if you ask me, I'd tell you that they were just morons for going just because someone told them that they should. Anyways, my life here is not that bad. Oh crap, I got so distracted by that gaze that I forgot I was talking to Grim. Grim, what's wrong? You're not responding. Did you fall asleep? Hey, Nightheart. Grim was the screen name of a guy I always partied up with in ESO. I never met him in real life, but we talked all the time online. He brought me a lot of valuable information. He was like my own personal informant, you can say. I sat down and began to type at the keyboard. Lol. Sorry, I didn't fall asleep, but I was kind of spaced out, lol. You must be really tired. You're not sleeping enough? Doing hentai stuff with a girlfriend, lol. All day, all night. I'm not into 3D girls, lol. Ugh. Grim and I would talk about all the kinds of things. Since I couldn't see his face, it was easy to tell him anything. Of course, in the real world, that's not how it would go. So you're a 2D man then. H-games? You're really in a hentai mood tonight, huh? You always have really perverted delusions though, right? You used to always talk about them. You really were into them. Something about doing naughty things with a girl in a school swimsuit. What was I? I don't really remember. Anyways, if that's what you want to talk about, let's discuss something near my heart. Oh god. School swimsuit plus glasses. Oh, wait. There's actually a choice? Let's say no. Competition swimsuits are better than school swimsuits. Oh, when there's too many things moving on the screen, my capture card just breaks. Oh god. No. Socks. Over the knee socks. Yeah, screw it. Sure, why not? I don't know. Okay, so we talked about... Okay. Anyways, glasses? Who needs glasses? School swimsuits get a bonus because they're associated with the bittersweet memories of youth, and over-knee socks increase their destructive powers by 400%. Lol, come on, man. You really like swimsuits, huh? What man doesn't? I mean, really. It's not just about showing skin, you know. Pan no moro no pan. A fully dressed girl with no panties is sexier than a I don't know what that is. A state where panties, pantsu, are fully visible, moro mie, a more extreme form of a panchira or a panty flash. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm okay with either. What? Are you telling me that you don't understand how hot no panty stuff is? I like my girls totally naked. You don't understand Moe at all. A complete and utter perv. That's our Nightheart. We fear him, but we love him, lol. Calm down, man. I mean, I did get a little excited. I try to be the cool sign type. Cool? Lol. Don't laugh. Anyways, what were we talking about before I fell asleep? I mean, I'm sure it was about ESO stuff. You forgot? Come on, man. We were talking about the murder that happened in the 3D world. Wait, the murder's in the 3D world? Okay, finally. We're talking about something more interesting. What was he talking about? Shogun entered the room. Current members 3. Hello, Shogun. Sup. I said, but Shogun didn't reply. Was this asshole ignoring me? I was trying to be friendly here. Didn't he know who I was? I was lightning fast Nightheart, damn it. This is supposed to be a no lurker channel anyways. Well, whatever. I decided to ignore him. That's a nice thing about the internet. You don't have to care about other people unless you want to. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, the main character is really annoying me. Okay, so, what were we talking about, Grim? Oh, the murders. I don't care about anything 3D. It's probably something stupid anyways, right? Yeah, I guess. It was pretty shocking still. Shocking? Some kind of silly, grisly serial killings or something. A lot of bad stuff has been happening lately. It's always a serial killer. More Guro pictures? Oh right, you can't handle Guro, lol. I mean, I can handle it. No, actually I didn't want to see any of that stuff. But there are a lot of fakes and altered images going around lately, and trolls love to set all kinds of traps. You ended up seeing a lot of stuff whether you want to or not.
まあ、少しは目が慣れてきちゃってるのかも。
And to think you're the strongest paladin in Base Lord. I don't PK though. PK means player killing. It's when you attack a yeah, we know what this is. I'm no Chew. I don't do things that would make other people upset. Wait, Chew? Someone who acts or talks like a child. The Chew comes from the word Chugaku or middle school. I never violate ESO's rules. That's my policy. I did a shit ton of RMT though. Yeah, you're the hero we all love and adore, lol. Mochitsuke. New generation. You know about it, right? Huh? New generation? What the hell is that? It wasn't something I already knew about, right? Grim seems to act like I was supposed to know about it. What's a new gen? The new generation madness. They call it new gen online for short. It's a weird serial murders going on in Shibuya right now. It's all happening right now near your house, lol. Alright. It was coming back to me. You know, I bet Grim is gonna be a girl. Like one of the, because like in the opening, I think pretty much other than the main character, every single character was a girl. But I only knew the basic outline. I hadn't really looked into it. Delude. I searched the new gen and got a hit immediately. The madness created by the new generation of youth.
この1ヶ月の間に渋谷で発生した2つの事件のことをニュージェネと呼ぶ。その犠牲者は胎児を含めて7人。
Yeah, an unborn baby. Ugh. Damn, they really killed a
一
bunch
つ
of
目の
people.
事件は友人同士5人による高層ビルからの集団ダイブ。二つ目の事件では男性の体内から胎児が出てきた。
What? Unborn baby found in a man's stomach? Yeah.
これマジかよ。
I felt a cold chill run down my spine. I found myself turning around again and glancing around the dark room. Taboo News had a lot of old articles about new gens, so I quickly skimmed them. Supposedly, the whole internet was talking about it, calling it the new generation madness. There were 2 incidents. One was a murder case that was so brutal that some TV stations weren't even willing to have their anchors describe it. Then the first one, the group dived off a skyscraper, and there were rumors that it might have been a murder too. The parents and friends of the deceased all said that they weren't the type to commit suicide. There was no sign of a motive, and from a lot of other pieces of circumstantial evidence, it was supposedly impossible to believe that they were about to kill themselves. I took a quick look. A shake and shiver. Well, starting to shake and shiver. 2000s era Japanese otaku when they feel terrified. Mochitsuka is cool okay. Not really. Don't care. Here. GuroDaisuki.com data/image/ blah blah blah. Look at this lol. What is it? A picture of the
グリ
corpse.
ムのやつ、僕をバカにして楽しんでるな。
He did this stuff sometimes. But if I let him get to me, I'd lose my reputation as Nightheart. No matter what I was in the real world, in ESO, I was a god. The strongest. I knew everything. I was stronger than everybody. I was a knight fighting for justice. Nobody was going to make fun of me. I worked up my courage and clicked on the URL. Oh god. What the hell is this painting? Lol, you got me. Lol, lol. Who drew this, lol? Noshi? I whipped it up in like 2 minutes just now. An emoji that depicts a person waving their hand. Okay, yeah. It can be used to say bye, but also to raise your hand in agreement. Most people pronounce it as Noshi after reading the Japanese letters used. Gotcha. I whipped it up in 2 minutes just now. You're our generation's Picasso, lol. Anyways, that was fun. But I'm gonna sleep. Night. See you tomorrow in Baselard. Grim left the room. Current members too. Oh right, that Shogun guy was still here. I totally forgot about him. Not that he mattered. I wasn't feeling that tired, so I decided to do some grinding in ESO. Oh wait, today was the day Bloodtoon aired. I didn't have a TV in my room. All I needed was a PC.
あと15分ぐらいか。その前にトイレでも行っておこうかな。
I looked at the figure of Seiratan next to my monitor and grinned. I was going to get to see her today. I couldn't wait. Just as I went to close the chat window, though, Shogun's gonna message something.
あれ
Huh? Gaz, I have no idea. Shogun had typed something.
なんだよこいつ急に。
I thought he was a lurker chew. From the file type, it looked like a link to an image, but... Someone I didn't know, and someone who'd never even talked to me was suddenly sending me a link. I gulped without even realizing I'd done so. I didn't know why, but I felt a terrible premonition. One I'd never felt with any interaction online before. Of course, I didn't want to click it. I glanced over at the clock. There were only 12 minutes left until my date with Seiratan. I needed to wrap this up fast. Homei's trap. Slang used by 2000-era Japanese otaku to refer to any type of clever trap. Komei is the Japanese name for Zuge Liang, who was known for his brilliant stratagems. Okay. You know, if a stranger just kind of, you know, sent me a link, I think I would pretty much never click it if that was the only thing they said. What the heck kind of Komei's trap is this, lol? The world is going to change if you click it. Oh, lol, what? I tried to act like he wasn't scaring me. Honestly, I didn't even want to talk to this guy. He was making me nervous. I could feel myself sweating. Was this Shogun guy even Japanese? If he wasn't, there'd be no way I could talk to him. Sorry for scaring you. Well, huh? He was talking normally. I felt a little relieved. Nah, it's cool, man. Why were you lurking? Did somebody tell you to lurk for 6 months before you could type? I was thinking. Where are you from? For some reason, there was a strange pause. Shibuya. The articles I just read about the new generation incidents came racing back into my mind. Just envisioning them in my mind was bad enough. If I'd seen them in reality, I didn't think I'd handle it. A man's stomach ripped open, the body of an unborn baby stuffed inside. And when those 5 friends jumped off a building, they were probably just chunks of meat after they landed. Just imagining it made me want to vomit. I quickly shook my head to get the images out of my mind. This Shogun guy was so shady. It was like making me delusional when I didn't want to be. I wish he would just go away. Hey, I'm from Shibuya too. Oh, those are pretty cute emoticons. A lot of weird stuff's been happening here lately, huh? It's not over. Shibuya, shake and shiver. What? Fun caret 10 times int caret 40 equals LR2. I have no idea. Was this Shogun guy just crazy? I'm really smart, and I'd never seen that formula before. I decided to run a search for it. At times like these, it was great to have access to an internet connection. Was this guy just trying to pretend to be smart and writing out some nonsense formula? It didn't make sense. This formula has murdered the possibilities of the world. I have no idea what that means. Anyways, what was that link? Am I actually supposed to click on it then? Lol. I thought you might be interested. Blip, 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 blip. Oh wait, these are all different images. Oh my god. Let's see. So he's not stopping, man. He's not stopping. Shogun, stop! You sent like 20 images now. He typed in several URLs at blinding speed. What was this guy's deal? Was he just entertaining himself by trying to scare me? Was he a buddy of Grimm's? And were they having fun with me? Oh god. He's gonna turn around one day and there's just gonna be someone there. I'm not used to these 3D environments here. In these visual novel games. I felt the gaze again, and looked around the room, but of course, there was nothing there but a filthy dark room, the same as always. I felt a strange sense of terror. Feeling like you were constantly being watched kept you from ever truly relaxing. Don't look at me! When I said the words, I could tell my voice was shaking. My old filthy room felt like something completely different now. They say that sometimes after you watch a horror movie or a TV show, or hear a friend tell you a scary story, even a place you know well, like your own house, will start to seem strange and terrifying, and you'll be too scared to even go to the bathroom alone at night. Right now, I was experiencing something just like that. Shaking, I leaned towards the monitor and... Suddenly, I felt my right hand index finger tense up as I clicked one of the Shogun's links. To be honest, I had no idea why I'd done that. It wasn't like my hand moved on its own or anything like that. It was as if I'd done it without thinking. That was the only way I could describe it. It felt like exactly the wrong thing to do, but I found myself clicking it as if emotion was completely natural. Oh god, it showed all the dead bodies. I found myself staring at what seemed to be some kind of strange work of art. Something that looked like a porcupine or a pincushion, nailed to the wall in the shape of a cross, and beneath the porcupine, or pincushion, or whatever the hell it was, there was a pool of something red and black. There were also all these little piles of something that kind of looked like garbage. What the hell was this? The world of some self-proclaimed avant-garde artist? You know, one of those guys who made something disgusting and then said, with a complete straight face, I want to give the expression to the chaos of this world. I'm not interested in that modern art crap, guys. It was strange though. It wasn't really a Guro image. It just looked Guro-ish. But that was as far as it went. So why? Why did it feel so real? Why did it feel like I was right there watching it happen? Could a hallucination make you smell blood so intensely that you want to throw up? Could a hallucination smell so strong you want to vomit? You just say the same thing twice, basically. I started to feel a pain in my temples. The urge to vomit wouldn't go away. I tried to grab the mouse, but my hands were shaking too badly. My hand slipped off the desk and ended up grabbing the thing's cord instead. I moved it up the cord and put it back on top of the mouse pad, then closed the image. As I breathed a sigh of relief, I saw... Whose eyes are those? Someone's watching. I glared at the minimum necessary school schedule I created. I'd never gone to see the Blood Toon in real time last night. Of course, I saw it when it was upped to Mewtube, so it didn't really matter. Mewtube is definitely the YouTube, but I still didn't feel any better. The last thing Shogun had said before he left. It was like he knew how scared I was of God's gaze. It couldn't possibly be a coincidence. I tried to think of how he might know. Had my personal info leaked, or was someone from ESO who was out to get me? A godlike player like me had lots of friends, but also lots of enemies. Well, most of these enemies were just haters, though. You know, guys who were jealous of Nightheart's strength and charisma. It was best to just ignore them, I always found. No, that wasn't what was important now. Even after I logged into ESO, I couldn't stop wondering who he was, to the point where I couldn't even concentrate on my grinding. And to make things worse, today was...
最悪の日だ。
It was, unfortunately, a day where I had to go to school. I didn't want to go, but if I didn't follow my schedule, it might come back to bite me later. I might even end up being held back.
眠いのに。
I did my best to stifle a yawn as I staggered down the road to the school. At my walking speed, it would take about 10 minutes to get there. That's a really quick trip. Once I started moving, I only felt worse. I felt exhausted. It was weirdly hard to breathe. There was always this sweat dripping from every pore of my body. This always happened whenever I went to school. Oh wow, okay. So let's look at the background where we actually finally have one. Yeah, okay. Pretty old art. Why did I have to go to school at all, when all it meant was suffering? I moaned to myself as I stared down at the white lines on the asphalt, but I kept going. My route took me through Shoto Park. Once I was through the park, the school was right there. As I walked by a lake, I could see an older couple out for a morning walk, a salaryman sitting on a bench reading the sports section. For a park on the outskirts of a major downtown area like Shibuya, it was quiet. It was a perfect place to relax. Man, this game is really quiet. I sat down on one of the benches. Every day I went to school, I would always sit here in the morning and eat my breakfast, surrounded by leaves that were gradually beginning to change color, and watch the placid surface of the lake. Breakfast was a pastry I brought at the local convenience store. This would keep me going until evening. I never ate lunch. Nobody wanted to eat with a creepy otaku guy like me, and I certainly didn't want to eat alone when everyone else was in the group. I washed down the cream-filled pastry with a can of soda and stared up at the sky. The sky above Shibuya was always kind of cloudy and never totally clear. This was true no matter what season it was. My family's home was just a few stops away from Shibuya by train, but something made it feel like a whole different world. Oddly enough, the gray sky didn't bother me. I didn't know why, but it didn't. I looked at my watch to check the time. I needed to get going or I'd be late. Being late was the one thing I absolutely couldn't do. If I wanted to only go to school 2.5 times a week, then I needed to make sure I didn't stand out at all costs. I needed to be like the air we breathe, completely invisible. I needed to avoid the DQNs, the delinquents, and thugs I hated more than anything, and teachers, and spend my day undisturbed, in peace and quiet. That was a goal for my school life. Suime Academy. That was the name of the school I attended. It wasn't a very old school. It had been built within the last 10 years. This meant that the building was clean and new, and it was often used for a set for TV shows with a school theme. The uniforms had been designed by some famous designer, and a lot of the dumber girls had chosen this school specifically to wear them. It was, in theory, a college prep school, but the school's test scores were slightly above average at best. The school rules were really strict, but they were constantly telling prospective students about how much they respected student autonomy and independence. It's pretty funny how they try to trick you. Well, I guess the rules were really there in name only. Nobody enforced them. So maybe they weren't trying to trick you after all. After all, even somebody like me who only went to 2.5 times a week could still graduate. By the time I arrived at the school gate, there were enough students around me that it was starting to get noisy. I don't like crowds, so I kept my head down as I walked through the gate. In my mind, I was repeating, "Please, nobody talk to me," over and over again. I had a sister a year younger than me who was also a student here. She would commute from home. Any day I ran into her was a disaster. Okay, this is the classroom. Seems normal, definitely newer, and lights are pretty bright. Fortunately, I didn't see her today and made it safely to my classroom. I slunk into my seat without letting my eyes meet anyone else's. For a moment, I thought that some girls who were chatting near me looked my way, but it was just for an instant. They quickly returned to their conversation without saying a word. I knew they were all thinking that I was a weird, creepy loser. If you ask me, you 3D girls are way creepier than I am. If you find me creepy, just don't look at me. Just pretend I'm not here. If you just do that, and I'll live my life without bothering any of you. If you DQNs decide to keep calling me creepy all the time instead, that's your problem, not mine. That's what I've always said. I just can't understand it. Maybe you want attention from the people you call creepy. Is that it? I stayed in my seat, staring down silently at the surface of my desk, trying not to move at all.
Yo, Taku.
Out of nowhere, somebody slapped me lightly on the back. I jerked and then looked up annoyed.
お前、今日って学校来る日だっけ?
Oh, finally, we get some background music.
Misumi-kun.
It was Daisuke Misumi, my classmate. He was standing there with a friendly smile on his face. He was handsome, and supposedly girls really liked him. He was also a self-proclaimed playboy who, according to him, was always dating several girls at once. From my perspective, he was a man who completely gave himself over to the DQN side. He wasn't somebody I wanted anything to do with, but...
相変わらず暗い顔してんな。ゲームのやりすぎで寝不足か?
Well, you're right about that.
別に。
He was the one person in class who always tried to talk to me. He and I had nothing in common, either in terms of personality or hobbies, but for some reason he was always trying to talk to me. It had been this way ever since we became classmates at the start of the year. I never managed to figure it out. If I was a girl, I could understand, but why would he want to talk to a guy?
引きこもりだからしゃあねえかもしんねえけどよ。もっとこう、ハキハキ答えろって。
If I could, I would. Just talking to a 3D person was suffering. I got so nervous my voice wouldn't even come out right, and since I wasn't used to talking, I would always stammer. I get so scared of saying something stupid and being made fun of that I hated talking to anybody. You don't understand my pain. Don't tell me what to do. Oh, and I'm not a hikikomori either. A hikikomori is somebody who never leaves her room 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. That's not who I am.
女相手に緊張するならともかく、そういう態度されると、俺らホモと思われるじゃねえか。
Was he lying about dating those girls? And he was actually into men? I pulled my body away from him, trying to put some distance between us. In doing so, I almost fell out of my chair, so I quickly grabbed onto my desk.
何してんだ、お前。三角君はホモなの？なわけねえだろ。お前、俺の女好きを忘れたのか？だよね。ビビった。
Man, this was written a bit too early. Misumi looked around to see who was nearby before suddenly lowering his voice. He gave me a mischievous grin.
昨日
このクラスの女子で3人目のとした。誰だか聞きたいか？
いいよ、別に。
だよ、もっと興味示せよ。田中だぜ、田中。
田中って誰？
お前、もうすぐ10月だってのに、未だに同じクラスのやつの顔を覚えてねえのか。ま、3次元に興味ないんじゃ、それも当然か。
Yeah, I don't associate myself with these inferior beings. He sighed and shrugged his shoulders. The one thing I could say for him was this. He'd never insulted my hobbies. That is, my love for 2D characters. He never called me creepy. It wasn't his thing, but he never said anything about it. In that respect, maybe he wasn't such a bad guy after all. Maybe that's why when he talked to me, I actually tried to talk back.
これでうちのクラスの可愛い女はほぼ攻略完了だ。
Wow. Okay then.
そろそろ隣のクラスで守備範囲広げようかって思ってんだよ。
Maybe he was a bad guy after all. At least, that's what the girls would think if they heard him.
D 組によ、めったに学校来ねえけど、すごくいい女がいるらしいんだよ。なんか、そういう、燃えねえか。あ、お前の場合は燃えるんじゃなくて、燃えだっけか？
Don't use that word when you don't even know what it means.
ま、お前の興味ねえ話は、そろそろやめるか。じゃあよ、ニュージェネの話、知ってるだろ？
Oh no. To be honest, I was really surprised to hear that from him. I thought he was only interested in chasing skirts. I couldn't imagine him looking at a newspaper or reading the news.
集団ダイブの事件さ。あれも、噂によると殺人らしいぜ。
へえ。
マジだって、書いてあったんだよ、スポ島に。
Wait, Sports Tokyo was his source? Who would believe the thing written in that paper? Source? Okay, I made it the fuck up. Got it. Anyways, I already knew that, and also, I didn't care.
で、聞いて驚け。その殺人鬼が女で、しかもかなり美人だって目撃証言があんだよ。
女。
As I looked at the excitement on Misumi's face, I finally understood it. So that's what compelled him to actually pick up a newspaper. It was a girl. It only made sense, I thought to myself. Wait, did that mean that he was okay with dating a murderer so as long as they were cute? I could see myself going for that if it was a 2D girl, but... Misumi was looking out the window and off into a distant sky. He looked like he was on the cusp of achieving some great enlightenment.
どんなやつなんだろうな、犯人って。本当に美人なのかな。会ってみて。
This was a man who made all of his decisions with his little head. I was sure of this now.
俺だけは殺されねえ自信があんだよな。だってほら、俺ってかっこいいだろ。いくら連続殺人鬼でも、俺みたいないい男に会ったら、コロッと惚れちゃうぜ。
She's like, stop. I'm too cool to die. And then she wouldn't kill him, he thought. Man, talk about an optimist. I found myself feeling scared by how confident he looked.
僕は興味ないから。
でもよ、興味ないっつったって、犯人は絶対この辺うろうろしてんだぞ。どっかですれ違ってたりするかもしんねえし。
Maybe Misumi was a killer. No, that was probably impossible, but I couldn't rule out the possibility that the killer was somebody from this school. If that turned out to be the case, then maybe I could come up with something about how I got in PTSD and be able to graduate without having to go to school. Is that gonna tell us? Okay, PTSD, got it.
なあ、今日俺と一緒に殺人現場見に行かね。ここから歩いて行けんだってよ。まだ血とか残ってるらしいぞ。
I didn't feel interested in the slightest. My goal for today was to get through my classes without any trouble, go to Saratan, and go back inside the world where I was God.
もう小橋と長谷川は見に行ったって言ってたしよ。
本当に興味ないんだ。
What? Oh, is that the transition? Wait, what? I hate to disappoint Misumi when he was so excited, but I had no intention of going. Wait, what is this thing?
そしたら犯人とばったり会っちゃったりしてな。
Wait, okay.
ああ、犯人が犯行現場に戻ってくるってよく言うだろ。で、次はタクがターゲットにされるんだ。 死をもって罪を償うみたいな。罪状はそうだな、引きこもってたからってことで。
Oh yeah. You know, I remember in Chaos Child, they had moments where like the screen would go kind of weird and you'd have to make a choice. Maybe this is one of them. Oh, no, we're back.
僕は引きこもりじゃ。
I tried to protest, but I worried that he might have hate me or try to bully me and just gulped down my words. I bit my lip and looked away from him. I found myself looking around the room and saw something written on the blackboard. At first, I didn't really care what it was. All I noticed that there was some kind of writing there. But the more I look at it, the more something seemed wrong. I leaned out of my chair.
ちょっとどいて。
おい、どうしたんだよ。
Oh. Whose eyes are those? So, that is the title of that little thing that he wrote when he was a kid, when he said he was Chuni. That was also what the Shogun said. I pushed past Misumi and walked up to the blackboard. When I saw the words written there, I felt like my heart was strangling itself in my chest. Whose eyes are those? The words I always silently said to myself whenever I felt the gaze of God. I never told them to anyone else. There was no one to tell them to. Not even Misumi. Nobody in this class could probably know that I said that phrase all the time. Why? Who? For what reason? I spun around and looked around the classroom. Only Misumi was paying any attention to me. Everyone else was talking to themselves about or reading manga they weren't supposed to have at school, or sleeping at their desk. Who? Who wrote this? When did they do this? Was that already on the blackboard when I come in? I couldn't remember. I usually don't pay attention to what was on the blackboard.
なあ、どうしたんだ。
Misumi walked up to me and grabbed me by the shoulders to shake me.
聞いてる？おーい、タク。
It didn't matter who had written them. It was just a coincidence. People use those words all the time. It was just some kind of stupid scribbling. Yeah, just some stupid scribbling. Okay, now we're in class. I tried to tell myself that, but I was still really scared. I never did figure out who had written them. I wanted to go around the class and ask, but I didn't have the courage. Before long, homeroom began. The teacher came in and asked, who wrote this on the blackboard? He sounded very annoyed and erased them. It was really creepy, but I decided to force myself to behave normally. If I let myself seem scared, I'd just be admitting the message that had something to do with me. It didn't, okay? It was just a coincidence. I kept telling myself that over and over until it was time for me to go to a net cafe after school, just like I'd planned to do so. The cafe's name was At Cafe. It was the one place I liked going. It was along Center Street in Shibuya. There are a lot of loser salesmen and DQ and 3D girls here, but you got your own personal room, so it didn't matter. The room I was in, room 37, was my personal spot. It was the one furthest back in the cafe. See here, is that the same game he played? I can't tell. It looks like it's the same. It sucked when you want to go get some free soda, but it was relatively quiet because not so many people came by. I'd always come here once or twice a week on my way home from school so that I could log into ESO under a different ID. It was my way of relaxing. Nightheart was too well known, you see. I enjoyed being famous, but having to be the hero everyone looked up to all the time was stressful. That's why I like to play with the different avatars sometimes. Oh, we can't see the name. This character was a girl. Oh, her name was Liselot. Liselot. I feel like in Japanese it would be Liselotte, but I'm just gonna say Liselot. Liselot didn't really have many big accomplishments to her name, though. Whenever I played as her, I made sure other characters got the glory. I worked out some stress by playing for 3 hours, just grinding, never really doing any hard content. Then I talked about some dumb stuff and some naughty stuff with the rest of my guild. That's it, with the rest of my grinding. All right, guild and avatar. By the time I left the cafe, it was almost 9 p.m. Center Street at this hour was filled with DQNs. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, the main character is actually really annoying me. The way he really classifies people is really kind of getting to me. He's very, very narcissistic. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's like he's very much incel-y. They would sit on the sidewalk like they owned the place, eating fast food and laughing in their disgusting voices. It made me want to vomit. And if you had made contact with them, they get mad and attack you. They were barbarians. No, they weren't even human. They were worse than that. They were animals. They didn't have a shred of common social decency or intelligence. I wish that they would all just die. I meant it too. It wasn't something I was just saying. But you know, just dealing with them was a waste of time. I wasn't the kind of guy who would waste time, so I quickly left Center Street. After leaving at Cafe, I would always stop at either the nearby Manga Dorake or Animate that was a little further away. Today I decided to go into Animate and headed for the station's south entrance. There were far fewer DQNs here. Really, Center Street was pure chaos. Just walking through there made it hard to breathe. If I could, I would have rather never gone there at all. I wish they'd just tear down the whole place down, leaving only at Cafe and Manga Dorake. Anyways, it was time to look for some manga and doujinshi. Oh, and Bloodtoon's 5th DVD that was probably about to go up for pre-order. At some point, I found myself on a narrow street in Maruyamacho. This is the route I use on my way back to the base from Animate. I'm just going to say Animate, because it's Annie and then M and then 8. But I know there's actually a place called Animate, which is, you know, spelled the way the word's pronounced. Whatever. I forced myself to blink several times. Then I looked inside my bag. There were a few textbooks along with a portable game system. I hadn't bought anything at Animate today, so usually I always make sure to buy at least one thing. I sighed and started to walk. From here, it was less than 15 minutes to the base. You didn't have to get that far from the station for all the lights and neon to disappear, also with most of the people. At most, you saw middle-aged couples heading for the hotels, or salarymen heading to their homes nearby. It was quite quiet and calm. It was hard to believe that this was the same Shibuya as Center Street, with its hordes of DQNs. It was cloudy tonight, and the moon was hidden. The street seemed darker than usual.
まただ。
Oh, it's kind of creepy now. I think I'm starting to enjoy this a little bit more now that he's not being really annoying again. I knew the route well with its filthy dark street, but today it felt strange, like I'd wandered into another world. Everything looked the same as always, but I always felt like I was coming here for the first time. And there was this odd smell, like rotting garbage. Oh, he's gonna see the body that he saw in the picture. I could feel the humidity cling onto my skin. If I hadn't known better, I would have assumed that it just rained. The air felt sticky.
いや、ちょっと待った。
What's that noise? Oh, wait. What did I mean by again? Wait, did I say again? Oh, he did. Here he said...
まただ。
That was the first thing he said when he got into the street, I think. I felt a sense of jamais vu before. I thought it was supposed to be déjà vu. I looked that up. Déjà vu is originally a French phrase meaning already dreamed. Okay, it's the same thing. Gotcha. Damn it. It was really getting reality and my delusions mixed up. That was what the psychologists on TV said that would happen if you played too many video games. Either way, it felt like I was coming here for the first time. And that wasn't all. I felt a prickling on the back of my neck, a feeling like somebody was looking down at me. I wasn't imagining it. No matter how fast I tried to walk, the gaze kept following me. Somebody was watching me right now. Their gaze was so powerful, I could physically feel it. I wanted to look back, but decided not to. This was a game I sometimes played with myself. Whenever I heard a small sound or felt like somebody was watching me, I'd play the I'm not turning around that easy game. If I turned around, I'd lost. Usually, whenever I felt the gaze, I had delusions about ghosts or monsters with incredibly scary faces. And yet, throughout all 17 years of my life, I'd never turned around and actually seen something there. I'd kinda started to enjoy this game since I knew I was probably safe. I'd listen for a moment, then raise an eyebrow in suspicion. Then I'd say a line from a manga. It wasn't that I was too scared to turn around, okay?
貴様、見ているな。その目誰の目？なんちゃって。
Oh god. Oh, yeah, at one point he's definitely gonna turn around and there's gonna be something super creepy. I tried to desperately remind myself that I wasn't actually scared, but the next thing I knew, I'd stopped walking. Wait, did they say walking or talking? Walking, okay. I could feel the tension in the air change slightly. My face was damp with sweat and my knees were threatening to buckle. I gave in and turned around. I lost the game, but of course, there was nobody there. Not even a passing car. Okay, so that little strange hum is probably the sound he was describing. It's still here, so it's really weird. Oh, what's that sign say? Das, find, und, something, I don't know. Why did everything feel so strange all of a sudden? Uh-oh. The sound is gone. Uh-oh. The ringing in my ears had stopped. I only noticed after the sound stopped. Until that moment, there had been a sound like a ringing in my ears. But I hadn't been aware of it at all. Now, I couldn't hear anything. It was suddenly dead silent. Far too silent for the middle of the city. It felt like any sound would be crystal clear. I closed my eyes tight to listen. I couldn't hear anything. That was weird. This was weird, right? Usually you could hear sounds of distant trains, car horns, faint noises like that. So why? Were my ears broken? I wanted to scream as loud as I could. I felt like if I didn't, I'd go crazy. But I couldn't. It was so quiet, and it felt like if I broke the silence, something terrible would happen. Oh! Suddenly, a single sound shattered the silent world. Oh, it's a person being nailed. I looked ahead and saw many shiny things lying in the dark ground. They were scattered all over the asphalt.
十字架?
The moment I realized what they were, my legs unfroze and began to move forward. I picked one of them up. It was metal and its long tip was sharp like a needle. A stake? A nail? It was strangely shaped, so I mistaken it for a cross. I gripped the stake, dazed. I could hear it, a faint sound of some kind of echoing. A cold sound, one that would make your blood turn to ice. It would start, then stop, and then start again. My legs kept moving forward. I walked on, as if drawn to the source of the sound. Was it just a desire to see something scary? Maybe I wanted somebody to save me, to rescue me by plucking me out of this world of silence. It was like something from an old German fairy tale. Which one was it again? Oh right, the Pied Piper of Hamelin, where the piper leads over 100 children on a march within the sounds of its flute. The sounds kept going. It was an awful sound, like something hitting against something else. As I walked on, it kept getting closer. It was coming from the back of the narrow alley on the left. Once I rounded the corner, I'd see what it was. For some reason, I didn't think to turn around. The very idea of turning around never occurred to me. It was like I wasn't even in control of my own body. I walked around the corner and saw... Oh, that's real red. In the darkness, brilliant red. Oh god. Hey, that's the girl. The first thing I thought was that I'd seen something like it before. Also, that it didn't look real at all. Maybe a few screws broke loose in my mind. My senses had just become numb. In normal conditions, I would have screamed, fallen back on my butt, and peed myself right then and there. It was something that looked like a porcupine, or maybe a pincushion. Countless stakes were nailed into the wall as I stared at it. I realized that the red blood was pouring out from beneath the stakes. The brilliant red I'd seen was a pool of blood. Faint light from the street lamps outside the alley just barely reached in, making the red glisten. There was also all these little glistening piles of something. They looked kind of like hunks of meat. I tried to swallow, but my throat was parched dry. There wasn't a single drop of saliva in my mouth. I'd realized. The thing nailed to the wall by those stakes. Yeah, I think that was what we saw in the images that you clicked sent by Shogun. Was a human corpse. This was so far removed from my everyday life, so brutal, so overwhelming. And the one who had done it, the one who had pounded all these stakes into raw concrete, was a single young girl. How could I tell? Because she was standing right there in front of the corpse, holding the stakes in her blood-stained hands. Her back was turned, so I couldn't tell what the look on her face was. But the uniform she was wearing, it was Suimei's. The awful smell, like raw, rotting garbage, clung onto my nostrils even more firmly. Every few seconds, I felt like I was about to throw up. I put my hand over my mouth so I wouldn't vomit. And then I finally realized where the sense of deja vu I'd been having came from. Yeah, he saw this scene from a different angle.
将軍のリンク写真
I didn't realize I'd spoken aloud until it was too late. This would prove to be a fatal mistake. I saw the girl's shoulder twitch as she heard my voice. Then she slowly turned around. Oh, hello there. Her gaze pierced me. Her eyes were so flat and empty. She had killed him. She looked at me with startled wide eyes. Her expression then shifted to something that combined a smile with tears, and then...
よかった
So glad, she whispered. Glad? Glad about what? Why would anyone be glad about anything right now? It didn't make sense. It was so bizarre that I felt a cold chill run down my spine, and quickly looked away. It suddenly occurred to me that I didn't want to get involved in anything weird. I couldn't talk to real girls anyways. Also, she was a murderer. The cops were on their way. I was hungry too. Yeah, time to go home. Time to leave, otherwise I'd go crazy.
たく
Suddenly, she said my name. I hadn't introduced myself. I'd never seen her before.
あなたに会いたかった
Her lips curled upwards into a terrible grin like a demon's. I screamed. And as I screamed, I ran. I kept yelling until my throat hurt, running as fast as I could. Just once, I looked back, but she wasn't following me. Oh, okay. Oh, alright. It finally got a little bit interesting at the end. Oops, I missed that part. Just once, I looked back, she wasn't following me. I was out of breath. I could hear the sound of my own panting. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here. I don't know what to think about this. I'm gonna give it a chance. Usually a lot of visual novels end up kind of slow in the beginning at the very least. Like even Witch on the Holy Night, which I absolutely adore, started off kind of slow. But oh man, at the moment Taku's I forgot his name already. His name was Taku. He's just not likable. He's so narcissistic, but he can't do anything. And yeah, I really don't like him. I'm even getting a worse feeling that I did with June in Opus, where June was kind of like a little bitch, but I feel like Taku is even more so. But at the very least, the ending got me kind of interested. I kind of wonder what's up with the girl. I had a feeling she was going to be the killer or the murderer thing, because, you know, she killed us in the beginning, but, you know, with purpose. Maybe she was trying to go back in time or something. But I also saw some connections with ChäoS Child. I'm not going to mention them because I feel like it'll be spoilers. But yeah, I'm honestly a little bit excited about the relationships with that series. But at the moment, a fun way to get through the beginning. I hope it gets a lot more interesting, because it definitely has the potential to. And I hope Taku becomes a better character, man. But we'll see what happens with Taku and that creepy-ass girl next time. And until then, I will be seeing you. See ya!